Good morning and good afternoon. Welcome to another episode of Before Coffee. We are here, we're ready to go, so let's start with our news story. There we go. Okay, we got it. I don't know why it never works the first time.
Okay.
Today on Before Coffee, war in Berlin turns out to be a joke. Search for lioness continues.
U.S. soldier bolts into North Korea and is not heard from.
Italian police make largest drug bust ever in the country.
Taiwanese chip manufacturer says U.S. talent is insufficient.
U.S. prosecutors claim to have solved 1981 murder with DNA technology.
And Amazon is bringing its Palm-based payments to all Whole Foods market stores today, on Friday, July 21st, 2023 edition of Before Coffee.
That's my problem. I need to add more time to the intro sequence, I guess. But let's go ahead and start with our first news story as I attempt to make sure that everything's working. There you go. Okay. First news story. We've got updates on Fast News Friday is what I'm calling it. On the lioness in Berlin that has supposedly escaped. For a moment, officers thought they were on the trail of the lioness who was wanted in Berlin. In the area from where the animal was seen, a roar was heard, but it turned out to be a joke with a loudspeaker. The search has therefore resumed this morning. The spokesperson could not laugh at the joke that the young people had played. This does not help the municipality and the police in the search for the animal. In total, more than 200 units are participating in the search. Heavy equipment was already deployed yesterday to find the predator, including drones, a helicopter, and an armored vehicle. In addition, the help of hunters and veterinarians was called in. Authorities are still warning of a free-roaming dangerous wild animal through various information channels. Local residents were asked to stay indoors and not let the pets go outside. Daycare centers are not allowed to use their playground. The big cat was first seen around midnight on Wednesday in the municipality of Kleinmachnow, just outside Berlin. Police officers are said to have spotted the animal twice afterwards. On a video made by the passerby, a lioness does indeed appear to be sitting on the side of the road. Yeah, it's like a white-ish, tan-colored animal with like clipped ears, just like lions have that black ear lining. So it looks a lot like a lion from the video I'm seeing here, but sources cannot confirm whether or not this is actually a lion. Although efforts are made to find the animal, no new clues or traces have been found. There are no new reports of people who have seen the animal. A number of experts doubt whether this video in question is actually a lioness. Lionesses have a long tail. On the video, the animal seems to have a very short tail, said founder Lion Foundation Robert Krauschiff in the NOS Radio 1 journal. On the other hand, the police said that they have seen the lioness twice more and the images are unclear. Where the animal comes from, in any case, is unknown. After police inquire at various zoos and circuses in the area, it turns out no lioness is missing, so it could be a pet. German law does not completely prohibit the keep of exotic animals, including lions. See, this is why I said yesterday, this has to be a pet lion. If nobody else is like, hey, my lioness isn't here. The pet lion killed its owner and escaped out the window. That's what's happened, okay? And now it's running wild, killing the local neighborhood cats. I don't know. So that's my short update on very important news about the lioness in Berlin. Very important news.
No further sightings.
No further sightings.
No Tin Woodsman.
Nope. Just some kids playing the sound of a roar on the speaker.
No scarecrow and no little girl running through the woods on the Yellow Brook Road. So none of that either. Okay, all right. My story Mount the U.S. This is from the Reuters.com. Writer, let's see, not CNA byline. Okay, mounting U.S. worries over Private Travis King after silence in North Korea. The United States on Thursday voiced mounting concerns over Army Private Travis King, who dashed into North Korea 2 days ago, saying Pyongyang had a history of mistreating captured Americans. U.S. Army Secretary Christine Wormuth, in her first public comments on the case, Wormuth, I guess, on the case, said Washington was fully mobilized in trying to contact Pyongyang, including United Nations communication channels. But North Korea had yet to offer any response, officials said. I worry about him, frankly, Wormuth told the Aspen Security Forum in Colorado. She said the case of Otto Warmbier, a U.S. college student who was imprisoned in North Korea for 17 months before dying shortly after he was returned to the United States in a coma in 2017. Oh, I remember him. I remember Donald Trump saying he was treated well. I remember that. He gets this guy, he's almost dead, who died a couple of days later, and he goes, oh, he was treated well by the North Koreans. I want to thank them for treating him well, and he died, and he obviously wasn't treated well. He never said anything bad about North Korea. Blows my mind that guy was ever president. I worry about how they may treat him, so we want to get him back. At the White House, National Security Spokesman John Kirby also expressed concern. This is not a country that is known for humane treatment of Americans, or frankly, anybody else for that matter. American officials remain stumped about why King ran across the border into North Korea, but Wormuth acknowledged he was likely worried about facing further disciplinary action from the Army upon his return home to the United States. She said he was not aware of any information demonstrating that 23-year-old was a North Korea sympathizer, and the Pentagon played down suggestions he might present an intelligence liability. Pentagon spokesperson Sabrina Singh said the U.S. Army's counterintelligence offices and U.S. forces in South Korea were carrying out an investigation into what drove King to make such a puzzling decision. Singh declined to directly respond to a question about whether the Pentagon believed King was still alive. She said that the U.S. military cannot offer any information at all about King's status. We don't know his condition. We don't know where he is being held. We don't know the status of his health, Singh said, describing his formal status in the military as AWOL, or absent without leave. North Korea has remained silent about King, and as the U.S. officials say, Pyongyang has not responded to communications from the American military about the soldier. North Korea's state media, which has been in the past, reported on the detention of U.S. nationals, has not commented on the incident so far. Speaking in Japan, U.S. Special Envoy for North Korea Sung Kim said the United States is working very hard to determine King's status and well-being and is actively engaged in ensuring his safety and return. Kim will not provide any details. King was on a civilian tour of the Panmunjom Truce Village on Tuesday when he dashed across the military demarcation line that has been separated into two Koreas since the Korea War ended in the armistice of 1953. King has been fined for assault while stationed in South Korea and had been detained for more than a month before being escorted to the Incheon International Airport by U.S. military for a commercial flight to Dallas, according to U.S. officials. Once past the security checks,
South Korean airport, Incheon.
Once past South Korea security checks, he told airline staff at the departure gate he had lost his passport and returned to the terminal. An airport official told lawyers on condition of anonymity. Wormuth said King may not have been thinking clearly, frankly. He had assaulted an individual in South Korea and had been in custody of the South Korean government and was going to come back to the United States and face the consequences of the Army. I'm sure he was grappling with that. North Korea and the United States have no formal diplomatic ties following years of international sanctions imposed by the reclusive state for its nuclear arms and missile programs that have drawn frequent UN condemnation. Asked whether King may have sympathized with North Korea, Wormuth said, I don't think we have any information that points to that clearly. The Pentagon said it was not aware of any changes to freedom of movement to roughly 28,500 U.S. forces in South Korea. Tensions are heightened in the Korean Peninsula. North has been conducting ballistic missile tests, the latest coinciding with the arrival of South Korea of a U.S. nuclear-armed ballistic missile submarine for the first time since the 1980s. Last week, North Korea launched its newest solid-fuel intercontinental ballistic missile, which has the longest flight time ever. On Monday, North Korea Kim Yo-jong, sister of leader Kim Jong-un and a powerful ruling party, said the United States should stop its foolish act of provoking North Korea and said it was already putting its security at risk. She made her comments after the White House National Security Advisor Jake Sullivan said Washington remained concerned that North Korea would carry out another ICBM test. That is the end of that story from Reuters. As we worry about this young man, very confused, who thinks he's going to find freedom in North Korea. Your story.
Very scary.
Yep.
North Korea being scary. Ooh.
Being mysterious at this point.
Yeah. Mysteriously not doing anything, mostly. In more Fast News Friday, Italian police make largest drug bust ever in the country. In Italy, the largest amount of drugs ever seized in the country, reports the Guardia di Finanza, the Financial Investigation Service. It concerns more than 5.3 tons of cocaine, with a street value of hundreds of millions. According to Italians, it's also one of the largest drug seizures ever in the world. 5 arrests have been made. An Italian, 2 Tunisians, a Frenchman, and an Albanian have been arrested on the fishing boat with which they transported the drugs. The boat has also been seized. Investigative services had been monitoring a merchant ship that had been lurking on the edges of Italian territorial waters for several days. Early Wednesday morning, suspicious acts were detected at the mothership. Large number of packages lay on a deck and were thrown overboard as the fishing boat approached the coast of Calabria. The crew of the fishing boat then picked up the packages. When the fishing boat entered Italian territorial waters, it was stopped by the search services, who found a large amount of drugs on board. The ship was escorted to the port of Porto Empedocle in Sicily. The pursuit was also started on the merchant ship, which tried to sail in the direction of Turkey. That ship is now being escorted to the port of Palermo. On board, a 15-person crew, including people of Ukraine, Turkish, and Azerbaijani nationality. Wow, that's the end of the article, but I just want to editorialize here a bit. What a terrible way to go incognito. Let me just drift around. Oh, we're just sailing at the meeting point. Oh yeah, we're just gonna be here. Why are these guys just sailing in a circle in this one spot? That's weird. Why are they throwing stuff into the ocean? Oh, that's odd. Come on. That didn't even try to be inconspicuous. Just completely. Hey guys, we have drugs and we're gonna import them into Italy. You're welcome.
We're gonna be on the news, boys.
Yeah, we're finally famous. Mom, look, I got arrested for smuggling
I got my picture
about
in the paper.
100 million's worth of cocaine.
I got a new orange jumpsuit, Mom.
All right, that's my short story. Yours next.
All right, then. In international commerce news, TSMC delays its U.S. chip fab opening. Chip fab. That means chip fabrication, I guess. Says U.S. talent is insufficient. This is from arstechnica.com, and this is written by Ashley Belanger. The Taiwan Semiconductor Manufacturing Company, TSMC, was supposed to have its first Arizona chip factory operational by late 2024, but now has confirmed significant delays, primarily due to the shortage of technical workers with critical expertise in the U.S. TSMC projects to finish construction instead by 2025. This is an ominous delay, Bloomberg reported, and it comes right when an investment in AI is booming. TSMC is a leading supplier of AI chips, and the Biden administration is scrambling to quickly expand its U.S. domestic chip industry. They're scrambling. I love these words. right? You picture in your mind a bunch of people in the background just running in all different directions to get something done. They're scrambling.
Somebody
Ooh.
learn how to fabricate
Ooh.
stuff.
We're
Hurry.
completely lost. We don't know anything works. We're gonna scramble. Okay, nice picture of not exactly chaos, I would imagine. People are going, oh yeah. U.S. doesn't have enough people that know how to make chips because we haven't made chips before. So yeah. It's been a long time anyway, since Texas Instruments, probably back in the 70s or something, before you sent all that stuff overseas. People don't seem to realize that when we start building these fabs across the globe now and everywhere, that skill has been refined over the last couple of decades in only a few places on the planet. Predominantly in Taiwan and Korea and a bit in China, said Winnick. Getting access to the requisite skilled workers to keep the construction plan on time is a challenge. At the end of last month, TSMC confirmed it would be sending more Taiwanese workers to the U.S. to ensure a fast ramp-up of its $40 billion fab in Arizona. This article is written in shorthand, somewhat. Reuters reported. A second Arizona fab is planned to be operational in 2026, the most advanced chip factory currently in production, Reuters reported. And at least so far, it has not been confirmed whether the first fab's delay will result in any further delays on completing the second fab. ARS could not immediately reach TSMC for comment. ARS is the name of this website. ARS. Yes. However, Bloomberg noted that TSMC chairman Mark Liu said on a conference call that in addition to worker shortage, TSMC has experienced other setbacks in the U.S. Perhaps most indicative that further delays could be coming. TSMC has cited U.S. building costs being more expensive than costs in Taiwan is another setback. No kidding. Currently, TSMC Solutions seems to be finding its way to cut across to send more workers to Taiwan. The company has not disclosed exactly how many workers are already sent, how many more may be coming. Reuters reported that TSMC confirmed in June that the additional number of workers will be going on is yet to be determined, and the Taiwanese workers will only be in state for a limited time. Given we are now in a critical phase of handling all the most advanced and dedicated equipment and sophisticated facility, we require skilled expertise, they told Reuters. The company also said it's bringing in these workers will not impact the 12,000 workers currently on site every day or U.S.-based hiring. A report yesterday from the progressive public policy-focused magazine, The American Prospect, indicates that there's already tension between U.S. and Taiwanese workers, though. Union electricians working at the Arizona construction site felt double-crossed, the American Prospect reported, when TSMC sent in possibly more than 500 workers. Union representatives said the union electricians suspect that TSMC was attempting to replace them with overseas workers by eliminating union electricians' incentive pay earlier this month, which caused 50 American workers to quit. A week later, TSMC reinstated its incentive pay but ruffled feathers by offering the union contractor 25 non-union employees recruited from Taiwan to help solve their new labor shortage, representatives told the American Prospect. They said that the union contractor refused to hire the non-union workers since union contracts use only workers dispatched from the union hall, and predicted that TSMC would continue to struggle to recruit American workers unless the company raised wages. Both officials and workers wonder how TSMC will spend U.S. funding to finish its labs. TSMC seeks up to $15 billion in fundings from the Chips and Science Act, the Wall Street Journal reported, but has objected to some of the U.S. conditions requiring that TSMC share profits and provide detailed information about its operations. The Biden administration has said that these conditions are only intended to ensure that TSMC makes appropriate use of taxpayers' money. It is clear, though, that TSMC is expected to hire and fairly pay U.S. workers. Last year, Joe Biden announced that building the first Arizona fab would employ more than 3,000 union workers, and he previously promised that the Chips and Science Act was designed to create good-paying American jobs. When Arizona's first fab finally becomes operational in 2025, TSMC has said that the foundry opening would create more than 1,600 high-tech professional jobs, thousands of indirect jobs in the semiconductor ecosystem. It seems clear that more advanced training will be needed to fill those jobs, the American workers, and TSMC has claimed that's why Taiwanese workers must be involved in these projects. The U.S. seems to believe that there are indicators that the threat could be growing more imminent. Last month, the White House reported dangerous encounter between U.S. and Chinese forces in Taiwan Strait and South China Sea that reflected growing aggressiveness by Beijing's military, because China still considers Taiwan to be part of China, and Taiwan considers themselves an independent country. Your story.
Okay, well, hopefully Americans can learn how to make stuff. Put their money where their mouth is, so to say, right? Why do we hire immigrants to do all this stuff? Because you don't want to do it. Hello.
No,
welcome.
Because nobody's trained to do it in this country ever. So we don't have the talent. It's not like Americans are lazy and they don't want to do it.
No. I'm saying, what I'm saying is, why aren't they trained to do it? Because they don't want to. You have to take the initiative and go, you know what? I'm going to go to school to learn how to make microchips. If you don't do that, most people are pushed to do like the 3 top things. Most people are pushed to become a doctor, become a lawyer, or become some sort of IT tech, something in the IT, so you can make mad cash. That's why everyone is pushed to study in school. Okay, as somebody who's recently gone to school.
Right. Okay, but the CHIPS Act is like a 1-year-old.
Yeah.
Expecting a bunch of people to be trained in 1 year is absurd.
Oh, I'm arguing that this follows a trend of people being pushed away from doing trade jobs, right? Thinking, oh, trade people don't make money. They don't make any money. So I'm going to go train to become a doctor or a nurse, which, I mean, all great professions, not saying they shouldn't be there, but a lot of people are pushed to go to those jobs for the money, not because they actually want to do them. That's all. That's all.
True, but I can't reach any great conclusion about any workers anywhere from this story, considering the fact that it's a very new program, and I don't know how people can train that quickly and turn around and be in the job market in less than a year. I don't see how it's possible. It just takes time.
Yeah.
It's Arizona, right? It's a non-union state, so that kind of thing is always going to be a problem in states like that. They're the Sun Belt.
Yeah.
And they can pay people less money to work there. And unions are already going to get busted there because they can import labor from other countries. But this is one of those things where Americans are going to go like, well, you know, this is a well-paying job. I might not be the most glamorous career in the world, but hey, I'm making $158,000 a year, you know?
Yeah, exactly.
What do you do? Not exactly sure, but yeah, I do something.
I make microchips. You're welcome. Your computer's running because
I can't describe my job, but it's very important. Okay, go ahead.
Yeah, but there's so many small little jobs that are important to running society, and nobody knows about them. So
everybody wants a glamour job.
Yeah, everyone wants to be like, I'm a hero. I did heart surgery. Okay.
Bullshit. They ain't no glamour job.
Guess what? You can't do heart surgery without the people who are manufacturing your surgery tools. Just saying.
If you go into medicine to get rich, you're in for the wrong reason.
Exactly. All right. Speaking of medicine, great segue. U.S. prosecutors claim to solve a 1981 murder with DNA technology. And who helped doing that? People who make microchips, because what runs those microchips?
Right on.
More than 40 years after the murder of young women in the U.S. state of New Hampshire, justice says that the case has been solved. According to the state prosecutor, the perpetrator was found using DNA analysis and forensic genealogy technology, where perpetrators can even be traced using the DNA of a family member. The perpetrator will not be punished. He died in 2005 of a drug overdose, probably from the murder. That's my theory. Oh God, I murdered that student in 81. I feel so awful. I'm gonna just self-medicate and then die. On September 28, 1981, 23-year-old student Laura Kempton was raped and murdered. She was found lifeless in an apartment by an officer. There was an electrical cord tied around her ankles and a telephone cord around her neck and shoulders. There was blood on the rug in her head, and the autopsy revealed she had died of head injuries. Evidence was collected at the scene, including a cigarette butt, a pillow, and a glass bottle. Years later, a male DNA profile could be drawn from this. In the years following the murder, many clues and possible suspects were investigated, but without success. Last year, a police cold case team, forensic labs in New Hampshire and Maine, and a forensic genetic genealogy company teamed up to find a perpetrator. A DNA match emerged from that. The man held responsible for the murder is Ronnie James Lee, who worked as a security guard in 1981. He was 21 years old at the time of the murder and was not known to the victim. In 2005, he died of cocaine overdose at the age of 45. Solving the case after such a long time is a message to anyone who is a victim of a case that has become a cold case, said prosecutor John Formelia. We will never stop doing these. We will never forget the victims. The victim's family expressed their gratitude to the police. Their diligence and determination, along with extraordinary personal commitment over the decades, had led to this moment for Laura. So, another quick article there about how, watch out, if you did a crime, we're going to find you.
out there.
If you're not already dead from self-medicating, we're going to find you.
Yeah, it's too bad the guy got away with it for so long. Who knows who else he killed. So.
And also, I think this technology should be used to help people who are currently in prison, because there's a lot of people who are currently in prison for 50 years or something that have no evidence. You know, they were just, hey, that guy did it. Okay, now we can close the case because we found somebody to pin it on, right? Because I think even recently I saw a TikTok of a really old guy who was in prison for 50 years for murder, and he basically begged for like 3 years or something. I want a DNA case opened to prove my innocence, right? And then it was opened, and they did it, and they're like, oh shit, this isn't your DNA, dude. You weren't even there. Yeah, I've been telling you that for 50 years. I've been in prison for no reason at this point. So now he's... Wow. The only good thing about those instances is that it creates more people to fight for people in prison who are there unlawfully, right? It just creates a bigger movement to say... Because now that's what he does. He tours the country saying, I was in prison unlawfully, and we need to make sure that we guarantee people are in prison for things they've done, not things you want them to have done, so you can, do some paperwork and get it over with. I know crime there's a lot of crime in the world, I get it, but you did sign up to solve crimes, so I just don't get...
Yeah, it's supposed to be justice. It's supposed to be a justice system, not a vengeance system. Yeah, we don't care as long as somebody pays. Exactly. That's basically it. Oh, you solved that case. We put somebody in jail after all.
Yay!
Yeah, you must be guilty. He's in jail. What are you thinking there? Look at him. He's in jail. He's behind bars. Looks guilty. All right,
that's the end of my story.
All right, in tech news, Amazon's palm scanning payment technology is coming to all 500 Whole Foods. I can't wait to just put the palm of my hand on the cash register and do nothing else. Scan my food, put my phone. Wow. All right, Amazon's palm scanning payment technology. This is from TechCrunch.com, uncredited article again. Amazon's palm scanning payment technology, known as Amazon One, is prepared to make a significant expansion across the U.S. The retailer announced that it is making a payment tech. This morning, the payment tech will come to all 500 plus Amazon-owned Whole Foods Market stores nationwide by year-end. The biometric payment system works by having the customer hover their palm above the reader device. The device then identifies the individual's unique palm signature, which is then associated with their customer's payment card on file in order to charge them for their purchases. Since the technology launched in 2020, Amazon's One service has been established at more than 400 locations across the U.S., the retailer notes, and has reached a milestone of over 3 million uses. These locations have included Amazon's own retail stores, including its Amazon Go convenience stores, as well as various sports stadiums, entertainment venues, and travel retailers like Hudson Cruise and OHM at several U.S. airports, in addition to the Panera Bread through a partnership announced in March 2023. Stadiums using the tech include Bridgestone Arena, Climate Pledge Arena, Global Life Field, Lumen Field, T-Mobile Center, T-Mobile Park, NASCAR Raceway, Texas A&M's Kyle Field, along with entertainment venue Hollywood Casino and Greektown in Detroit and others. Now, if you know the names of those fields that I mentioned, and you know what city they are in, congratulations. There is no damn way I'm going to look all those up.
You've won the giveaway. We're giving away free tickets if you can name all the towns.
What happens is these cities get these sports stadiums with these nice names you can remember, and then they come along and get built, but they get sponsored by huge corporations, and they change the name of the stadium, and now everybody's going to go to T-Mobile Center instead of the Newark Skating Center or something. Now it's the T-Mobile. Who's going to the T-Mobile Center? Huh? What's that? Yeah. So anyway,
like the Lombardi, what is it called? The
Lambeau Field. Lambeau Field.
Yeah, Lambeau Field.
It's the one field that is not going to get renamed, they say, because it's a publicly funded stadium, but it's a publicly owned team and so forth and so on. The proof's in the pudding. I imagine someday it'll be, Shakey's Pizza Lambeau Field or something. I don't know. Something really awful. The system has been steadily rolling out, the Palm system, back to reality. The system has been steadily rolling out to Whole Foods locations ahead of today's announcement. Currently, Amazon One is available at over 200 Whole Foods markets in the U.S., including Arizona, Arkansas, Colorado, Idaho, Kansas, Louisiana, Michigan, Mississippi, Missouri, Montana, Nevada, New Mexico, New York, Oklahoma, Oregon, Texas, Utah, Washington, and Wyoming. That's about half of the states. It will now expand nationwide. And I'm just going to list all the states real quickly. With this expansion to Whole Foods, shoppers won't need to have their wallet or even their phone in order to make purchases. They'll just use their palm to pay. So remember to take your hands. Explains Amazon. In addition, Prime subscribers who link their Amazon One profile with their Amazon account will automatically have savings applied to their membership perk. Of course. Recently, Amazon announced the reader would also be able to verify customers' ages, allowing customers to use devices to purchase adult beverages like beer and a sports event, just by hovering their palm over the reader. Coors Field was the initial adopter of this version of the system. Amazon said in May, it's not clear if this part of the system will also work at Whole Foods, or customers will need to show their ID to more staff as is common with most other self-checkouts. I think that would circumvent a lot of state laws, right? Wait, you didn't ask that guy for his ID, but he waved his hand. Oh. To use the system, voices are an extra added bonus. The voices I do, it's like a little extra, Gives the show that flavor. To use the system, customers can pre-enroll via the web using their credit card and debit card. Obviously. Amazon account and mobile number in about a minute. Amazon has partnerships with American Express, Discover, MasterCard, Visa, and other U.S. major banks. It says customers then complete their enrollment process the first time they scan their palm over the Amazon One device when visiting the participated Whole Foods location. They can also choose a registered Amazon One device in the store if they prefer. We're always looking for new ways to delight our customers and improve our shopping experience, says Leonardo Balbinal, Chief Technology at Whole Foods Market, in a statement about the expansion. Since we've introduced Amazon One at Whole Foods markets over the past 2 years, we've seen that customers love the convenience it provides, and we're excited to bring Amazon One to all of our customers across the U.S. And I can't wait. I can't wait myself. To me, I embrace this technology where I constantly leave the house forgetting stuff. I have still yet to forget either one of my hands at home. Your story.
I think this is a really interesting concept, mostly because here in the Netherlands we have contactless payments, which is basically you just scan your phone or you scan your card. And
yeah, you do it here too.
Yeah, but supposedly, right, this is all, I haven't been to America in 6 years, so I have no idea, but I've heard some places in America don't have that still. You still have to scan and swipe your card on a machine, right?
Yeah,
and I could not go back. 100% could not, but it's so easy just to go dink and then you paid. You're done. You get a little
Oh yeah, and
feelings.
as it is,
Good.
I can scan my phone at Whole Foods for my Amazon account. You know, Amazon gives you a little pop-up code for discounts, and you scan it at Whole Foods. And so now you just get your palm of your hand. Once you're set up, just scan, boop, 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 and the last boop is your hand. You just put your hand on that little reader, and you've only got one hand. You're the only person with that hand, so they can't mistake you for somebody else.
Honestly, it reminds me a lot of how parking spots work these days as well.
Passports, you say?
No, parking spots. There's places, at least here in the Netherlands, where if you it will remember your car. It will remember your license plate. It will remember the weight of your car. It will remember everything. And it'll go, you've already paid. We remember you.
Right.
Goodbye.
Yeah.
We've been watching you on the CCTV this whole time. We know you're leaving. You don't have to scan any card or anything. So.
Yeah, we're all the cashiers.
Yeah. Okay. Anyways, let's move on to our culture update here as we look at the new Oppenheimer film about the dude who helped make the nuclear bomb. In the Netherlands, the nuclear bomb maker Robert Oppenheimer was nicknamed Opie. 5 stars from NRC, The Telegraph, and AD, the latest film by Christopher Nolan, Oppenheimer, lives up to the high expectations according to critics. The Hollywood production revolves around scientist Robert Oppenheimer, who is also called the father of the atomic bomb. Besides A Town for Physics, Oppenheimer, 1904 to 1967, also had a gift for languages. The American surprised fellow scientists in Leiden when he gave a presentation there in Dutch in the 1920s. Those present were so impressed with him that they affectionately called him Opie, the nickname that Oppenheimer would use throughout his life in the angelicized form Opie. He liked that presentation so much that he immediately stayed in Leiden for a few months. He was like, damn, these Dutch people are cool, I'll stay here. Says visits Frans Kingma. Together with Michael Clemens, he wrote the book Splinters van de Zon about Oppenheimer. It also discusses his ties with the Netherlands. Oppenheimer visited the Netherlands several times, spoke the language, and counted a number of prominent Dutch scientists among his circle of friends. He can be seen here with Professor Hendrik Kramers. According to Kingma, Oppenheimer spoke 9 languages: English, German, French, Italian, Spanish, Latin, Greek, and Dutch, and Sanskrit. Can you speak Sanskrit? I thought it was a written language. I had no idea. I'm impressed just from that. I thought he's just like blah, 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 blah. I did not know you could speak Sanskrit. It couldn't
He's the only
be
one that
hard
can
enough
speak
for
it,
him.
though.
Also, I'm gonna be a little fair here, okay? If you can speak German, speaking Dutch is not hard, okay?
Right.
You just make your accent a little more goofy and happy, and you've done it. It couldn't be hard enough for him, says the author. The Volkskrant writes, the protagonist, Cillian Murphy, in the film also starts a guest lecture in Dutch. That's nothing, but nothing can be understood. Oh God, I have to see that. I can't. As somebody who can understand Dutch, I want to listen to that and be like, yeah, he's speaking nonsense. In the end, the American physicist also didn't end up in the history books because he could say good morning in Dutch. His most important achievement is directing the Manhattan Project during World War II. During that covert operation in the United States, the atomic bomb was developed. Thanks to the work of Oppenheimer and his team of scientists, the war was ended, but the destruction of the Japanese cities of Hiroshima and Nagasaki also ushered in a new era, one in which humanity can destroy the world at the touch of a button, a threat that is still relevant with the war in Ukraine. Oppenheimer struggled with his legacy to humanity. This can be clearly seen in a TV interview. We knew that the world wouldn't be the same again, the physicist said on the moment the team first saw the detonation of a nuclear bomb. I am so glad he's quoted saying that, because I'm so tired of people when I say it was a travesty what happened to Japan. I don't care what war crimes they did or whatever. These were civilians. You bombed an entire city and killed millions of people. You know? That had nothing to do with the war. They just lived there. They just happened to live in a place, you know? And you just killed all of them.
People. I don't think it was millions. It was thousands. But yeah.
Okay, point is, they turned into ash. There's no body left. That's fucked up, okay? And then people are like, well, they didn't know what would happen. I'm like, here's the dude helped make it, saying, oh, we knew we were gonna fucking change the world in a bad way. So I'm just like, come on, guys. Stop telling me, oh, they didn't know. They
The
had no idea
alternative
what
was
happened.
Hitler gets it. The alternative
Yeah.
was Hitler gets it. So there you go. That's all
He
we
also-
really got for that.
He's also quoted a piece of Hindu script, Bhagavad Gita. Now I have become death, the destroyer of worlds. Probably we all thought so in one way or another. He is a man who carried too much history on his shoulders, said Minister Dijkgraaf of Education last night on NPO Radio 1 program Met het oog op morgen. With your eyes on the morning. In the images, at the end of his life, Oppenheimer looks like he's 80 when he is clearly in his early 60s. But according to Dijkgraaf, this is partly because the scientist was politically sidelined after accusations of communist sympathies. He was broken.
Oh boy.
The minister is also a physicist and former director of the Institute of Advanced Study at Princeton, and position Oppenheimer also held. For 10 years, Dijkgraaf worked in the same office as his famous predecessor and lived with his family in Oppenheimer's former home on the campus of the renowned university on the east coast of the U.S. Director Nolan had visited twice as part of his film. I felt the history there between the planks of the floor, said Dijkgraaf. He also spoke to the colleagues who had worked with Opie before. He was a very complicated man, very brilliant, but he had no patience for others who were not so fast. Very Dutch-like. Dutch people are just like, hurry up. You're wasting my time.
What is your problem? Right.
Ambivalent is what author Kingman calls the tormented scientist. He has many faces. If you were friends with him, you had a friendship for life. But if you broke it up once, you had a lot of fights with him. Actor Murphy found the role of Oppenheimer challenging. He lost quite a bit of weight for the film, but how much exactly did the protagonist not want to lose? The scientist was very, very thin and almost skin and bones, and subsisted on martinis and cigarettes, Murphy said in an interview with the New York Times. The actor said he had also spent a lot of time on Oppenheimer's deep gaze and his characteristic attitude. Dijkgraaf is going to the cinema with his family today to see the end result. Then we can see how our old house is reflected in the film. There you go. Slight review, slight history on Oppenheimer and how he was just a guy.
Yeah, and I don't know. This is just a rumor now. I heard it started. His education started, but when he met his in-laws for the first time, and they said, "Well, he's smart, but he's no rocket scientist." And so, he had to just prove them wrong.
I'm gonna go create the biggest rocket of all time.
That's a bad joke, but I don't care. Anyway, today, and this day in history, in 1613, Michael Romanov was crowned the Tsar of Russia, founding the Romanov dynasty. In 1774, the Treaty of word I can't pronounce was signed at the conclusion of Russo-Turkish War. Let's give it a shot here. It's K with a U and an umlaut and a C with one of those squiggly things, which I know is probably silent. No? I don't know. Kushik-Kayanarka. That's the Treaty of Kushik-Kayanarka. There you go. Probably said it wrong. 1861. The first Battle of Bull Run, called Manassas by the South, was fought during the American Civil War, which is famously people turned out and treated it like a picnic. In 1925, just imagine that. Bloody Civil War, and people are sitting on a hill watching it and going, "Ooh, isn't this cute?" In 1925, the trial of high school teacher John S. Scopes ended with his conviction in Tennessee, which figures, it's Tennessee after all. He had taught the Charles Darwin theory of evolution in violation of the state law against intelligence. 1954, the Geneva Accords effectively divided Vietnam in the 17th parallel, setting up a war. 1960, politician Suramavo Bernadjanaki became the first woman prime minister when she took over the office in Ceylon, later Sri Lanka. So, in 1961, Virgil Gus Grissom became the second American to enter space during Project Mercury. 1967, Albert John Luthuli, president of African National Congress and the first African to be awarded the Nobel Prize for Peace, died after being struck by a train. In 1983, the world's lowest recorded temperature, negative 128.6 degrees Fahrenheit, or 89.2 Celsius, below zero, was measured at Vostok Station, Antarctica. Very cold. 1987, American heavy metal band Guns N' Roses released the landmark album Appetite for Destruction, which sold more than 17 million copies. I actually saw Guns N' Roses in 1987. Ha! Man. They were opening for Rolling Stones. They still weren't a headline act. 2007, Harry Potter and Deathly Hallows, the final book in J.K. Rowling's Harry Potter series, was released. And 2011, U.S. Space Shuttle program ended after 135 missions as the orbiter Atlantis landed at NASA's John F. Kennedy Space Center in Cape Canaveral, Florida. In our featured event, 1798, Egyptians defeated in the Battle of the Pyramids. Napoleon's army of Egypt used a new military tactic, the massive divisional square, to defeat the Egyptian forces of Murad Bey on this day in 1798 in the Battle of the Pyramids during Napoleon's Egyptian campaign. Napoleon just kept conquering and conquering and conquering. And also, and birthdays today, Ernest Hemingway was born this day in 1889 in Oak Park, Illinois. Robin Williams, American comedian and actor, was born in this day in 1951. 1938, it was Janet Reno's birthday. 1926, Norman Jewison, Canadian director and producer, was born. 1911, Marshall McLuhan, Canadian educator. And we already covered Ernest Hemingway. And what day is it today? There's only three things today. One is National Be Someone Day. That's really easy. All you got to do is exist and you are someone. I'm not exactly sure what that means. Be someone. Be someone! Maybe it's about that song by Tracy Chapman. Fast Car. Be someone, be someone, be someone. That's kind of towards the end. National Junk Food Day today, so you can be someone while you're shoving food in your face that's been pre-cooked 47 times. And it's National Lamington Day, which I have to look up. Do you know what a lamington is?
Lamington, I believe, is it's probably something where you put something in another thing. That's most of British food is like, what if we put this in here and then we baked it together? So.
Well, I'll give you an idea. It's Australian.
Okay.
Still doesn't tell me much else except it's a culinary dish. It's a dessert. It consists of a sponge cake dipped in chocolate. Well, you sold me there. It's dipped in chocolate. I don't care what
there
the
hell
it
is.
is.
It's something inside of something. There you go.
After dipping the cake in chocolate, he decided to sprinkle the cake with fine pieces of coconut. So there you go. That's a Lamington Day. Although the picture, it has like a cream-filled thing, and it's
there's cream inside of it, and it's dipped in chocolate. It's like
and some red stuff.
Inside something.
It looks like it has 8 million calories, and you'll have to check yourself into the diabetes clinic immediately afterwards. So that's our what it is today topic.
Okay. All right. And this is Allison with our user comment of today is, why is the dragon from the Neverending Story presenting the news? I'm here from the Netherlands. We will see you for our next adventure next week. Have a good one.
The answer, of course, is none of your business. And if I told you, it would be a never-ending story, wouldn't it? Okay. And that's today's news for July 21st, 2023, Friday. We'll see you Monday, where there'll be a whole bunch of new stuff happening before coffee. Be sure to hit the like, subscribe, and notify buttons, and follow our other channels, Toxic Alley, History of Gravy, and Scratchy Old Record.